Welcome to Between Sundays. I'm Tyler, and it is the good news that we are not alone. The bad news is I'm probably not a nurturer, ? I don't even have a rope or a bucket. Today, we're talking about the broken place of loneliness and how pervasive it is in our culture. But before we sit wearily at Jacob's well, now that they've drank the living water and have fresh, bubbling springs within them, let's get intentional with our favorite co-hosts, Maron, Amy, and Barry, live from Turkey. Good day, guys.
I'm not a favorite co-host.
Yay!
I'm just a guest.
Don't sell yourself short.
Okay.
Amy, welcome back.
Thanks.
And Barry, like I said, live from Turkey.
Here I am. Hi, what's up, guys?
Is it like
you sound tired? Are you that tired?
Is it like 3 in the morning?
Tired. It's like 11 o'clock p.m. So.
Oh wow! What'd you do today?
No excuse.
It's not even late.
Today was my rest day. I sat around a lot and just did a lot of nothing. I read the book.
You sat around where?
In the dirt?
I'm actually in like an amazing guest house up in the hills near the ancient town of Priene.
Oh, Amy went there in the spring.
Valley.
The ancient town of Priene.
Amy was just there.
I remember
she said it was great.
Well.
I sent off the team. They all got home, yesterday?
Roughly 5 o'clock.
Oh,
yeah,
roughly.
So
Maron has it down to the second of when they got home.
4:54 and 10 seconds.
I sent them home, and then I've been kind of doing my own thing, and I just found I wanted to go to this one particular ancient site called Priene, and I was looking around guest houses nearby, and I hit the absolute jackpot. This place is unbelievable. It's up in this like old like village. I don't know how to describe it. Up in the hills, like vertical. You just go straight up, and it's this like stone walls, like old school looking thing. But there's this beautiful courtyard with like flowers and plants everywhere. There's a pool, and like they've been feeding me this amazing breakfast. So it's actually at a really awesome place, and there's like a breeze just flowing through all day long. So it's a great place to do a little R&R before I go off and do some more exploring on my own. So
yeah, for anybody who has not kept up with what's going on, Barry, you took a team of core team members from Grace Church to Turkey, which is ancient Ephesus, correct?
Yeah, we went to the ruins of ancient Constantinople, Pergamum, and Ephesus.
So because technology can do this, we wanted to just call you. We wanted you to call in, and it's like almost midnight or something, and we wanted you to kind of give us the rundown of how the trip was. Now that the trip's officially over, people are back. You're staying an extra week to do Barry stuff, but yeah, kind of share with the friends of the pod like what we've been missing the past week or two.
Yeah, well, the whole kind of point of the trip was to help core team members at Grace. You know, that's our version of membership called the core team, to help kind of invest in a small group of them. Although it wasn't really the smallest group, it was 15 other core team members, and I basically wanted to invest in them to help them better understand the world behind the text of the New Testament, and to really get into like some deep discussions about how is the church meant to interact with the powers of this world, both spiritual and political, and got into like my favorite topics like the Roman imperial cult. We talked about the cult of Artemis in Ephesus, and we went to the Acropolis of Pergamum, and we went to the unexcavated amphitheater of Pergamum, which may have been where Antipas died.
Cool stuff.
In Revelation 2. Yeah, it's very cool stuff. So anyway, it was a real gamble whether or not this was going to work.
Yeah. So what was everybody like? What was the team like? What'd you guys do in terms of like team bonding? Did everybody get along?
Yeah.
Was there anybody who had to get sent home early or anything?
Yeah, name names.
No, nothing
like
that. No, it was honestly like it was the best team of guinea pigs I could have possibly imagined, because we went in without a lot of like things we did not know how they were going to go. Like we, instead of like getting like a bus, we got 4 rental cars, and I had like core team members that had never been to Turkey driving through the old town of Istanbul.
How'd that go?
Well, let's just say one car picked up their team members like an hour after our car. So it took us an hour to clear out of Old Town.
You don't need to say if
it.
Jaden was in that late group or not.
So Jaden came
He was
home.
in one of the later groups.
He came home yesterday and gave me just a handful of updates because he was tired. He was jet lagged. I did not want him to have to, give me the play-by-play of every element of his trip. But there were a handful of things he shared last night that made me think, oh, I'm so glad I did not know that.
Yeah, you would have.
Before you left.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I did not know that while you were gone.
What? Like what? Give me an example.
Well, like the streets not being labeled in Istanbul.
Yeah.
And like how hard it was to navigate, in some rental cars in Istanbul.
It's just difficult if you're trying to do it without Google Maps. If you got Google Maps, it's fine. It's just that when the Old Town where we were, they're like really tiny roads and they're like one car wide. So you're kind of like constantly, and then you'd be going up one road the way you're supposed to go. And then there's like a truck unloading.
And then you both just drive on the sidewalk, right?
Well, or you just turn and go down a different road. Anyway,
driving in another country is incredibly stressful.
He said it was like every man for himself.
Yeah.
No road rules.
Yeah, no lines on the road.
Well, but here's the thing with Turkey, like Old Town Istanbul is totally like that. But then once you get out of Old Town, the rest of the country, their highways are great. They are averse to like any kind of parking lot. So you really have to know how to parallel park when you're here. Yeah. But other than that, the road system is great. There's like rest stops and gas stations everywhere. Like it's kind of remarkable.
Is there a lot of tourism in Turkey?
Mm-hmm.
There is. I've met people from England, from Ireland. I met people. I didn't meet them, but I saw people from all parts. I met an Australian. There were definitely people from East Asia.
Jaden said that because of the Christian iconography, that there were different groups of Christians from different elements of the faith or whatever. There were Catholics there,
right.
but that there were people there because of the iconography, like it's a tourist destination.
Sure, and all the ancient sites too. I mean, there's like a lot to see and a lot to do. I will say Ephesus, unlike the last time when I came in February, I had like a lot of the place to myself. This time it was like Disney-fied. It was like being in line at Disney. So
now you hate it?
No, I just think I'm probably going to come back in another time of year if I bring another team.
So what's one moment?
The team bonding.
Yeah, what was like one moment from the trip that like really stands out to you that the team will probably remember forever, or like something that really is kind of like a highlight of the trip?
Well, there were a couple moments. So I basically kind of did like a play-by-play recap, like revisiting of the places that I went when I came here back in 2020 or 2023, and so I kind of knew a little bit of where I was going to go. I had like stuff that I was teaching all along the way, and when we got towards the end and we were doing some of the stuff in Ephesus, it was really cool to see some of the lights go on in their eyes of like they were starting to get it. And in fact, one of the team members even like basically said my final conclusion of the trip before I was even there yet. She already kind of figured it out. She's like, "Oh, this is true, isn't it?" And I was like, "Oh, you stole that from the end, didn't you?" So it was very cool, like to see things clicking into place. Things about like, what happens when we focus on domination and winning and victory as the church, and how that can easily lead us astray when we're really called to self-giving love. And it was some deep stuff, and so there was just a moment in the ruins of the Basilica of St. John in Selçuk near Ephesus, where potentially St. John himself is buried. And as we were talking about this, just like there was a moment you could tell where everybody was like, "Oh, like it's all clicking." And I quoted, Maron, your son lit up at this one. I quoted John Guerra. I said, "Love has a million disguises, but winning is simply not one." And it was good. So. Yeah, lots and lots of highlights. I'm eager to hear what they think after they've had a week to decompress. Honestly, it was a little bit of a relentless pace for reasons that I can improve next time. But kind of an exhausting trip, and we didn't really even have like one space to meet all together until we got to our final guest house hotel in Selçuk. So yeah, lots to learn, and I would definitely do it again, but I'm going to make some adjustments next time.
Yeah, Jaden talked about that moment at the St. John's Basilica specifically, saying, I guess it was the Temple of Artemis, and then that was torn down, and rubble from the Temple of Artemis was used to build St. John's Basilica, which was then torn down and then used to build the mosque that currently stands there. Did I get that right?
That's correct. Yeah, and the very final part of the trip, we stand looking over the ruins of Artemis, the Temple of Artemis, which was one of the 7 wonders of the world, and there's almost nothing left. But you can look up and see the ruins of the Basilica of St. John up on the hill, and then you can see the mosque down to the left of that. And it's really powerful when you realize oh man, if all we're doing is just building grand structures and trying to show our dominance through our architecture, then really all we're doing is just swapping stones, Anyway, it was great. So
can you hear the construction in the background?
No.
It sounds like the building's about to fall down.
Pardon our mess.
Well,
Pardon our mess.
Yeah. No, I mean you guys sound like you're in a tin can across the ocean. So I cannot hear any construction. Okay. But yeah.
Well, all right. So when do you get back?
Great. I come back. I leave here Friday. Get back on Saturday.
Okay. So you'll be back on the pod next week.
Yeah, and I'll be there at church on Sunday. I plan to, at least, unless I get viciously ill or something. So I will say, pray for me, folks, because I guess by the time this comes out, this will already be over and done, and we'll find out if I survive. But tomorrow, I am driving out to do a little hiking trip where I am going to go backpacking up to an ancient temple of Zeus Labraunda up above the city of Milas, and I am going to hike up and camp in the woods up in the hills up there.
Why would
and,
all right.
That sounds great.
Is that Greece?
No, we're in Turkey still.
You're staying in Turkey
You're
the whole time?
just going to go camping in Turkey? We talked about this last week on the pod.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
You're just going to go into the woods with a wooden...
I drove through the hill. Listen to you guys talk about camping.
Are you impressed, Tyler? Are you impressed?
Yeah, I mean, it's super impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's more or less impressive than if you had a camper up there, but...
I don't think you could get a camper up there.
Well, it'd be impressive if you could.
I guess it would.
Yeah.
Sounds like my kind of vacation. Have fun.
There is a sacred way from this city up to the temple ruins, and that the villagers used to go up to this temple to worship Zeus or whatever, and then eventually the part of that area got turned into a Christian basilica, and it was still kind of a pilgrimage site, and it's all in ruins now. But that sacred way is a part of a longer through trail, the Carrion Trail, which is kind of like the Appalachian Trail. You can kind of hike and keep going. So I'm just going to be on one part of that trail, which is more or less a place that people can camp. So we'll see. It's,
all right.
You know what? Worst case scenario, I'll just walk back to my car and drive away.
Yeah, worst case.
Figure out where to sleep.
Are there Turkish bears?
I don't think so.
What are the threats?
They're very friendly though. The Turkish bears.
I don't know that there are many threats. I would say the people that I've met in Turkey and the 2 times I've been here are some of the most hospitable, wonderful, warm people I've ever met, and I have not yet seen any major predators.
Yeah, there can't possibly be threats out there if you've seen a bunch of.
If all the people are nice, then probably the bears are too.
No danger.
That speaks highly of the wildlife.
I think so.
All right, so we'll get you back next week, and we'll get a full recap of the trip.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, get some sleep. Thanks for calling in.
Be careful.
Travel safe.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
I'll see you on the other side.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That sounded morbid. See you on the other side.
Other side.
Other side of the mountain.
Of Sunday.
We all love Barry.
That's what we say around here.
It goes without saying we love Barry.
Sure.
I didn't understand probably 46% of the words he said.
Well, then you're doing better than me. I tuned out about 2 sentences in. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I was
but
listening.
he does stuff different than
anyone.
I couldn't.
I bet he's gonna hike in his shorts and a shirt.
Yeah, probably.
You should put on stuff that protects you.
Or probably not even with a shirt.
He'll run up the hill, climb the rocks.
Yeah.
Sounds
alone.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
I can't even imagine being in that lovely villa alone.
This is his
and
giving him life.
He's gonna climb and camp alone.
It's great. I love it. because he's
I
so
don't
much
like
different
climbing,
than all of us.
I don't like camping, and I don't like being alone. It sounds horrible.
Speaking of being alone. Well, before we get into the sermon,
No, sure.
no time for updates for me and Marin. Just want to hear from
Why?
you. How's your
Why?
life? Because we give
Why?
updates every week. I just want to hear. Last time you were here was like 2023.
I know it's been a while.
So
I think every time I preach, it's like a holiday.
Yeah, we're like, we'll
or
see you
you
next
make
time.
up one.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, we're not recording tomorrow because blah, blah, blah.
So how's your life right now? What's going on?
Good. My two youngest are Annie's in grad school and University of Texas. She went to her first University of Texas football game. It was huge. She got to go out on the field.
They won that one.
They did. Yeah. They've got the Manning kid there, so it's a big deal.
Arch.
Yeah. So she got to go out on the field. I guess the track team won something last year, and she was like, well, I don't need to go. And the coach was like, yeah, you do. You're part of our team now. So they all went out to the halftime, went out to the field.
So she's loving it. Loving Austin.
She loves Austin. Jeff and I are flying down this weekend to see her.
Oh.
So I'm
that's
so excited.
so
Yeah.
awesome.
I'm really, she's like texting me like, here's where we're having brunch. Here's where like,
She's got it all together.
yeah,
I
and we're
love
going to
it.
a football game. We're going to go to a University of Texas football
Wow.
game. So it's going to be fun.
It's a good place for barbecue, but you don't like barbecue.
I don't like, but my husband loves
So what are you going to
barbecue.
do?
Franklin's, you gonna stand in line?
I don't know. He loves it. He loves all barbecue. He's very excited. So
If I went down to
I'll eat
Austin, it would
potatoes.
only be to go to Franklin's.
Franklin's?
Yeah.
You don't like anything else about Austin?
Nah, I just want to try Franklin's.
It's supposed to be the famous
Shots
one there.
fired for no reason.
Well, I'll tell Jeff. He'll want to try it, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Even if it's like a late night
It's
Franklin's.
like a cooler Nashville, like the music scene.
Yes, yeah.
Like
I've
kinda
been there
cool,
once. But Jeff was there not long ago, and he said it's become very techy. It's not
What's wrong with that?
It's not. It just the one street that was super
Yeah.
artsy
Yeah.
and
South by
it's not-
Southwest. It's like part
it's
of it's
not-
music, part
not-
of it's tech.
Yeah, it's just not the same vibe as when we were there like 3 years ago. He said COVID, or 5 years ago. He said COVID.
Oh, wow.
That he asked some people. He said
I was there 8 years ago, so
yeah,
it must be
he's
really different.
He said
I was
he
there
asked a few people, and they said a lot of
13
tech.
years ago.
A lot of tech came in during COVID and the quarantine, and the city has changed a little bit because of that. But it's still super cool, and the music. She's going to the what's the
City
big,
Limits.
she's going to their music fest.
oh, cool.
I went
She
there.
got a 1-day ticket for they have a music festival, so she's super excited. So
Great.
she's doing great. Maggie's musical theater major at Ball State. She's living her best life. She is so happy.
Great.
She loves everything.
How are you? Like last time
I
you were
don't
here,
know.
you're like, yeah, it's gonna be weird. Like me and Jeff in the same house and no kids and like.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's
then
good.
you were sad for a couple days, but
But you had like 5 whole minutes to be sad because you have just been
we just-
running.
yeah, we started
are
the
you
show right away,
Okay,
so-
like are you doing all right?
Yeah, I mean, I really like to sit on my couch a lot, which is concerning because I just want to sit in my couch and like watch Netflix and eat. But
Because you're sad or just
no,
because you're
I don't
tired?
know.
Like
I
what?
just feel very unmotivated in my life.
Oh.
But it's okay, everyone. Don't worry about me. I started right into
Amy,
rehearsals.
Are you tapping on the glass?
I'm
Is
tapping on
this
that
a
glass.
cry
Yes,
for help?
I'm
an
waving.
emotional
one-
person.
I am an emotional person. I came back the night we moved Maggie in, and we had our meet and greet for the cast. and
How's that
crew.
going? Wizard of Oz.
I think it's going well. I mean, it's a lot of people, and it's going to be a fun show. It's very well cast. I mean,
Full disclosure, Amy came in today because she's
Yeah.
got a rehearsal tonight that she's
we
I don't
got
know, not prepared
we got to
for.
make this quick, everybody.
And you're like, can we make this a quick one? Like, hey,
Yeah.
I call the shots here.
But no, we have to talk to Barry in Turkey, so it's going to be actually a little bit longer. So
Yeah.
everything seems good. Jeff's traveling a lot, which that's kind of weird too. He never has traveled this much, so he's gone like this month. I think we're home together between our lead.
Is
team.
that on purpose? Is he like, kids are gone, so I'm out of
he's
here?
like, and I'm like, can I go with you? And he's like, nope, you can't.
He's like, I need a little more me
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, no, he's traveling a lot. This month we're both gone. Like we're home together like 7 days between now and the 26th because we have our
Yeah.
retreat, and he's
Yeah.
gone. Yeah, so but it's all fine. I mean,
Okay.
I'm happy for my kids. They're doing
Yeah.
what they want to do, and that's
Great.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to be sad. They're super
No.
super happy. So,
All right, good.
yeah, I'm doing okay.
Yeah, you're
I
just
think
dealing with it.
I am dealing with it.
Yeah.
Good for me.
Yeah, good for you.
But in
Doing-
good ways. Like the fact that you get to go there this weekend, that's
Yes.
huge. She posted that she was watching your sermon online.
Yeah.
And as a preaching mom,
I know.
I'm like, oh, Amy's in heaven right
I
now.
know.
This
Yeah.
has
It
got to
was
be
really
the best
sweet.
thing ever.
I could tell by your repost.
Well, I had to repost it My kids never post anything about
Like, here's
me.
a picture of me. I'll repost it.
They don't even post Happy Mother's Day to me. So if I get a post from my kids, I'm certainly reposting. And
Yeah,
then-
I've seen some other kinds of posts from your kids about you.
Yeah, they're mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, my older kids are terrible to me. So I've gotta take with those the last two, what they give me.
Yeah.
'Cause,
That was super sweet.
yeah, I'm going up to see a show at Ball State this week, and Maggie said, "Can you go get yogurt afterwards? Because I really want you to meet my friends." And I was like,
Oh.
Oh.
because they're theater friends. So
Yes.
she's like, "I can introduce you to my mom." She
When
gets
do you guys, this is a question for both of you. When do you start liking your kids' friends?
Depends on the friends,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
totally, yeah.
Entirely depends on
Because
the
so
friends.
far, I don't like any of my kids' friends. And
Well,
they're 8.
Yeah, well, they either get better or worse. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's some of my kids' friends that I probably will never really like that much.
Who?
I can't say. But there's some of their friends I think are awesome. Like I would hang out
Yeah.
with them
All
if,
right.
if they
Here's
would
where
let
it
me.
really gets difficult, and you and I have both experienced this.
Yes.
When your kid breaks up with somebody that you really liked. Aww.
You find that difficult?
Yeah,
Yes.
that is difficult.
Yeah, because you liked them and they were
And
kind of
then you're
part
like-
of your.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
Kind of never see him
That sounds like
again.
that would be terrible.
well, because they're old enough that you are kind of friends with them,
Yeah.
and then you like
They're at
lose
your
that
house all the
friend.
time,
Right,
and then all of a
right.
sudden they're not
And
there
then,
anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of
What
sad.
if that happens, but like your kid's the reason?
Well, then you have to have a talking to.
Sit them down.
You got to sit them down. You got to rebuke, as Maron would say. There's some
Yeah.
rebuking.
All
There's
right, so
rebuking.
life's good overall. You're
Overall,
very
yeah.
busy with The Wizard of Oz. Tickets go on sale October 12th.
Yes.
So that's coming in
It
coming
is
in
coming. I
hot.
can't believe it.
Yeah, about a month away.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
It really is going to be a fun show. I'm excited.
Good.
It's a lot, though. It's a big show.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Technically,
That's what
it's
I
a
keep
big
hearing.
show. Like lots of locations, tornado, flying. Also,
Are you
got
gonna
that-
do-
I forgot about the hot air balloon.
Oh,
Yeah,
Gotta
you
have
gotta
the
have the
balloon
hot air
that's
balloon.
taking her home at the end. Oh my word! So
Well,
much
spoiler
happening.
alert.
Oh my gosh, everyone knows this story. Everyone
is
knows.
Jim Swanson back there making
Daily.
a hot air
Yeah,
balloon?
he's making
Are you
everything.
gonna do what they do at the Sphere, which is like when the tornado comes, like people get blasted with like trash
I'm
or like
not
confetti?
doing that.
I
No.
heard a rumor
What?
that you were in favor of snow.
Yes. I want a little bit of snow
When does it snow?
on the poppies. Remember
Is
the
that snow or is that
it's snow.
asbestos?
It was asbestos in the original movie. They were all like sick. No, remember the Wicked Witch makes the poppies
No, I can't tell
make them
you.
fall asleep so that they can't go any
I
further.
gotta be
and
honest
then
with you.
The Glenda makes it snow so that they wake up.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid,
Okay, well then you're in for
but
a glorious surprise.
I don't know that I've ever seen the whole movie because I was so scared of it when I was a kid.
What were you most scared of?
The
flying
as soon as
monkeys.
those monkeys showed up, I was out. I turned it off.
Well, I found Miss Gulch to be actually very scary. I was scared from the moment that she started riding that bike. in.
Yeah.
I was like, I, don't
couldn't
like
do
her.
it. I don't know that I've ever seen the whole movie.
Oh wow!
So you
never
really
too late.
you really did spoil it for me.
Are you
Thanks.
coming to movie night?
I will be at movie night September 26th
Okay,
at Grace Church, free, completely free, including
free.
food and drinks,
I know it's very
Yeah.
exciting.
snacks and drinks.
Yeah.
All right, enough about that. Amy, we need to get out of here quick.
Oh gosh.
So,
Yep. A whole 15 minutes is going to change my life. I'm just kidding.
we are in week 3. We just finished week 3
Wait,
of Hope
don't
Month.
we want to ask Maron if she did okay while Jaden was gone?
No,
Oh.
no.
We can talk about that next week.
Okay.
This is a fun-
also was extremely busy. It was finals week.
Oh,
I
that's
had
right.
Plenty to keep me busy between finals week and the sermon I'm preaching
Yes.
this coming Sunday.
Right.
There was no time to worry. However, I didn't want to turn my phone on silent. And so, my kid's in another country.
Right.
But they would text me at whatever time it was that they were up. And it usually was around like 3
Why
in
do
the
you keep
morning.
saying they?
Because I would get
Why do you
texts
say
from
he?
Barry
Yeah.
and from Jaden.
Oh.
Barry and me and
Okay.
you on a group chat.
Yeah, I don't know why I was there. I was just on the
'Cause we're
receiving end of like
Every time Barry saw something artistic, he texted me. I just want you to see this headstone. I think it would be your headstone if you were an ancient aristocrat.
he would take a picture of Jaden just like standing next to a rock and be like, "Hey, Tyler and Maron, look at this."
And then,
It's like 4 in the morning.
What's funny is how excited you have to pretend to be.
Oh, I wasn't pretending.
Oh, good.
she
I
was-
mean,
she
your
was not
son's there.
pretending.
When I'm getting
I said
pictures of
he
headstones,
does not
I'm
have
like,
his hat on.
Yeah,
I
she was-
know he
no.
did not pack sunscreen. He told me he was bringing long sleeve shirts, and that's the only reason I let him not pack
I would have
sunscreen.
blocked if I were
Oh.
Jaden. I would have blocked, like, just blocked your number after that.
that's so funny. And Barry was like, I never should have sent that picture, Jaden. You're
It
busted.
was good. I was on I don't know why I was included, but I was grateful to be included in all of Jaden's updates. I got a video of him using his industrial strength binoculars.
Oh, fun.
They're like this big, and he's just like scoping out something.
That's like cartoon big. Like ginormous.
They were huge.
That's what else? Well, no wonder he didn't take sunscreen. He couldn't fit anything else in his suitcase.
He brought a carry-on, just a pair
for
of
the
socks and binoculars.
Yeah. Short shirt binoculars. We're good.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So, Maron, you were good. He's good. He's home safe.
He's home safe. Thank
You're
you, Jesus.
good other
they
than-
are all home safe.
Yeah.
And we're still praying for Barry.
Yes.
Get home safe.
Yeah,
Well, I think, we just got to find out that he came down that
that's like one of
mountain.
those things like, hey, I'm going into this dangerous situation by choice. Will you pray for me?
Yeah, I kind of feel
I
like
don't know that
pray
I'm
for
going to do
yourself.
that.
Yeah. You chose to do this. Pray I don't do dangerous
I'm
things.
gonna jump off this roof.
Pray I don't
Just pray that I am okay.
Stop.
pray that I don't stumble.
He is going to learn a ton
Yeah.
and bring back the wisdom to
Yeah.
all
Back
of us.
all
and
that
share.
wisdom.
All right, week 3 of Hope Month. Amy, you're here because you gave a sermon,
I did.
and it was about loneliness,
It was.
about the broken place of loneliness. We've already covered separation from God and injustice. Dave was here last week to talk about injustice.
Oh, yeah, it was injustice.
Yeah, that's what I
I
said.
thought it was hatred. I forgot that it was injustice.
Were you here?
No.
Oh.
I wasn't.
Okay, so this week we're talking about loneliness.
Yep. Or isolation.
Yeah, isolation.
Sure,
What's
whatever
the
you wanna
big
call it.
idea?
The big idea when I honed in on this story, the woman at the well, was a story I was given, 42 verses. Thank you. It's a long story.
I would rather have that than like, here's one verse.
Yeah, that's
Write
true.
30 minutes
Yeah,
about it.
that's true. That is true. I was trying to keep it to 25 though, because there was so much happening in the service. I did not.
You
I
did
not.
do you. I actually wrote it down. I was like, I'm glad she's like reading basically the entire.
I did
story.
read the whole story. Yeah. I did not hone in on certain sections. I just didn't have time.
Right.
But the thing that was clear to me is how intentional Jesus was
Yeah.
with everything that he did, and to nurture somebody. Because I did go through. I love the thing I love about Dave's book that Dave Rod wrote. That book, A Why
Yeah,
to
you
Live
got
For. A Why to Live For. Sorry, there's a lot of names going out there.
It's right there.
Yeah, I cannot read that far. Is when I love that in that book he gave names to what
Yeah.
you are to
Yes.
heal the
If
broken
you're a
places.
healer of that
Yes.
place, you
Because
are.
I think the broken place is what I kept reminding myself is this is Hope Month. Don't leave
Right.
them sad. Leave them hopeful.
Right. Yeah.
So the sermon was really for the non-lonely. The sermon was for this is Hope Month. You have the opportunity to bring hope. But nurturing you've got to be super intentional. It is it's not just going to happen usually that you encounter the lonely. You're going to have to seek that out and be very intentional with engaging with them, with bringing them into your world, bringing them into a conversation, making them feel loved and welcomed.
Yeah.
And that story was so clear how intentional Jesus was with that woman at the
Right.
well. Like everything he did was intentional. And so then that phrase just came to me, nurturing takes intentionality. And that's what I built the whole thing around. And I don't know if you realized I really wanted them to leave with
Yeah.
that in their heads.
Yeah.
I hammered the big idea.
Yeah. I've only had very, very, very small experience, like learning what it means to like write a sermon. Dave Rod is the one that kind of taught me.
Yeah, sure.
But he said, repeat your big idea.
Yeah.
And you certainly did that.
Yes, I did. I just, because every moment in the story, that's what it is for me. So I
Yeah.
just kept coming back to that. Like, look at how intentional he was with that. Look at how intentional he was with that. Like, it's going to take, and then I spoke to the students last night and I just shifted it up a little bit. And I said, a nurturer is also a friend. And so that's what I said to them last night was everybody needs a friend. Jesus was a friend to all. Who can you be a friend to? And that's what which is kind of the same concept. Like you're going to need to seek these people out. The lonely are not usually out there like, hey, I'm lonely. Would somebody
Right.
talk to me?
They're not usually tapping on
No.
the glass.
No.
The woman at the well certainly wasn't.
No.
Hey, come
She
sit
was
by me.
avoiding.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because she felt so bad about herself and was so ashamed and so she kind of, hers was a little bit self-isolation. Like I don't want to be around people because I'm afraid of what they think of me and who I am. And
Or she had written this narrative in her head that I already
Exactly.
know they don't want me around them.
right,
So let's
'cause
just
I'm
make it
dirty.
easier for both of us.
and not.
You go at your time.
Yep.
I'll go at my time.
Yep. So that's kind of where it was built from.
Isolation's one of those places that like there's not really one reason why somebody would be isolated. There's a million.
Mhm.
Like some of it's self-inflicted,
Mhm.
some of it's because you're experiencing pain and you can't
Mhm.
be super social. Like
Mhm.
even today I was around people and I was thinking through like, because I knew I was preparing for this and I was around people and I was just kind of observing and I was like, I bet that person right over there who's by themselves is living a lonely life because it looks like every move they make is painful and it's a hard thing to be around other people for long periods of time or whatever. So there's a million reasons why somebody might be lonely. And this is like I meant what I said. I'm not really like a natural nurturer. Like last week I came in like guns blazing. Like I was ready to go talk about injustice. But this one I personally have I need to grow in because I'm not naturally like if there's an obvious reason why somebody's lonely, I'm capable of compassion. I'm capable of empathy, but I have experiences with people who like kind of create an environment where like it's really hard to be hospitable to them because of choices they're making. That if they're going to be lonely, then let them be lonely. Like that's the easy way out.
Or armor they wear.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so let's dig into the passage. It was John 4, woman at the well passage. My first question is, I don't know if you guys like it when I do this, but basically like... Probably not because it is a distraction from the main point. But it says, Jesus knew the Pharisees had heard that he was baptizing and making more disciples than John. Parentheses, though Jesus himself didn't baptize them, his disciples did. I was like, why? Was John mad when was he mad at Jesus when he wrote this? Because like
he wasn't really doing anything.
It's like drive-by.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. It's first of all, it's like insulting John. He's like he knew Pharisees heard that he was definitely making more disciples than John, but in fairness, he didn't make any disciples he didn't baptize anybody. His disciples did.
Yeah.
Anyways, you probably hate it when I do stuff like that, but that's the first thing I noticed.
I love it.
All right. Nurturers are the people passionate about healing the broken place of isolation. I did some digging about isolation and the reasons for it and what we can do. This is not like religious or Christian in nature, but I read through the Surgeon General's report on loneliness that they published in 2023. And I just like, it's easy for me who is not a natural nurturer to be like, well, there's obviously things we can do, and it's kind of inconvenient to be lonely because I don't struggle with loneliness, and it's not a natural thing for me. So it's like, well, all right, it's kind of an inconvenience, but is it really like a broken place? And after hearing sermons like what you preached and reading reports like this, it's actually a life or death broken place. It's not just a negative thing.
I didn't go into all of that because I was like, it's so bleak already. Everything I said is so bleak that I was like, people that were at service saw this. Tim Street, who spoke from Shepherd. I mean, like and that wasn't planned. He just started talking about how isolation has changed the ministry that they're doing at Shepherd Community. So he teed it up even before I walked up there. And I was like, I don't think I need to say anymore for people to get that this is like super bleak. But it leads to all sorts of health problems.
Life or death.
Like,
in the report, it says the lack of social connection increases the risk of premature death on par with smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Yep.
And it's a greater risk than obesity or just like physical inactivity. It obviously increases risk of cardiovascular disease, dementia, stroke, depression, and anxiety. That's all from lack of social connection. It also says they had 4 decades of evidence showing that human connection and community boosts someone's odds of survival by 50%.
Yeah.
And obviously the report's like, all right, we got to do all this policy stuff. We got to fix it with public policy. But your sermon is a great example of like, actually the church is perfectly situated to then Jesus is perfectly situated to address some of this. It doesn't have to be public policy. This is where we step in. But yeah, your big idea, nurturing takes intentionality. I like what you did. You basically said, this is what Jesus did and why, and we have to do the same thing. One example you gave is that Jesus didn't have to go through Samaria. And I that's something I wouldn't have known. But you said Jesus didn't have to go through Samaria, even though the scripture says he had to do it. He chose to do that, you said. I loved watching how he chose to be intentional.
He chose to do what others avoided.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's why it just came. That's why that intentionality.
Yeah.
I probably was like 2:00 in the morning. Usually that's when it happens. But everything in the story was just like, he went through Samaria. He went to the well. He talked to her. Like, he should have probably walked away when he saw her because of his reputation and what that would do to it. And he stayed, and then he asked her questions and said things that made her want to ask her own questions. And like, he asked for a drink. Like, everything was leading her to have to be in conversation with him and for him to move into her life, and then said all that stuff about, I know you don't have a husband. Like, I loved that line. Like, I just picture him being, I know. That's how I picture him saying it. And then, like, you speak the truth. Like, you're being honest with me. You're right. You don't have you got all of this.
Yeah.
All of this baggage that you've been carrying and the shame that's been weighing you down. I see it.
Yeah.
And I'm still here. That's what I love too. I see it and I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm not walking away.
Yeah, the interesting part about this, and I think I could say probably the same thing for the injustice and probably for all the other broken places, but this specifically is like, he wasn't, I don't picture him just doing this because he's like, I got to be a better nurturer of people, so I'm going to go through Samaria. He's like very in tune with the Spirit, and that's why he had to do it. He had to, because he's like, I am the God needs me to do this. This is my calling. I'm going to do it. I'm in touch with the Spirit, which in turn made him a better nurturer. But I don't know. Do you know if he was like, what his motivation for going through Samaria was? Was it like, I need to show people that what it means to be a nurturer, or I mean, it probably not that explicit. It was
the shortest way. It was the most direct route. But I think he wanted to show, I'm not avoiding the people that you think I'm supposed to avoid. I'm walking right into their world because I
have to, because God has like put it on my being that this is something I have to do.
And he exudes nurturing. That's just who he is.
Yeah.
And I guess if we are one in the Spirit, then that should be who we are.
Yeah.
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 And he did it over and over again.
Yeah.
With people who had physical ailments and other untouchables of society. Over and over again, he was seen not avoiding them, taking the long way around them, but instead directly interacting.
That's why I love when the disciples come back and they're like, we're not even going to ask him why he's talking to the woman.
Here he goes again.
I think they're just like, I mean, if we ask him, we're probably in for a real long story. He's probably going to go down a whole road here. And then they ask the next question, and he still goes down the whole harvest and whatever. But
something else that stood out to me is you were going through the list of reasons why Jesus shouldn't be talking to this person. One, ethnicity. Two, gender. And morality. Yeah, really. He crossed these barriers, and something that stood out to me was like, he crossed all these barriers or boundaries set up by society to do this. But you know what he never did? He never crossed the boundary of like integrity and holiness and doing, like, following the will of God in his interaction with this person, which I think is tempting. If I'm thinking about specific examples in my life, like, it's tempting to be like, okay, I need to be a better nurturer, and I'm going to rely on myself to do that, even though I'm not good at it. Naturally, I'm just going to like grow in my skills to be a better nurturer. But I'm thinking like, man, what boundaries are okay to cross and what boundaries are not? Because like, at one point, am I enabling like bad behaviors of somebody who is lonely or isolated or whatever? And I think that's a cool distinction, is that like, he crossed these boundaries that like society is saying you should not cross, but he never crossed the stuff that God was calling him to do. I thought that was cool.
I also think that we as the church, not this church, but the church, have set up boundaries
Yeah.
and made it so that people, we haven't broken them down. We've set more up. And that's part of the reason that people shy away from the church.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second, because you did talk about reasons. You said people they don't feel accepted in church because they're made to feel like their shame feels too dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And this is stuff that's like, I think it bothers all of us. It bothered me when I heard it, when you said it, and it continues to bother me. But the phrase that I've heard recently, like in the last couple of years, is like, there's no greater hate than Christian love.
Yeah.
And that should really frustrate us.
Yeah, it should.
There's no greater hate than Christian love. That should drive all of us crazy if we're called to heal loneliness or isolation. So what do we do, or a change that kind of changes that narrative of like people avoid church and therefore become isolated because they feel too dirty and they feel like shame for even walking into a church? Like, what do we as the church need to do to change that narrative?
We need to go to the well. We need to do what Jesus did. Jesus didn't wait for Samaritans to walk into Jerusalem and, show up on his turf. He went to where they were.
Yeah. And the church doesn't do that very well at all.
I had a conversation with somebody just talking about The Wizard of Oz, and because we're doing this movie night, we're doing the show, and it's not someone I know super well, but they were like, can you explain how that's an outreach for you guys? And I was like, and I talked about how, like, it's one of those things that we encourage people who do go to Grace to invite people that don't and come, and they get to some people who might come darken the doors of a church who may never have done that to a church service or whatever. And so it's not just for people, it's for people to invite people, and it's one of our biggest events like that.
Yeah.
Also in the cast, and you talked a little bit about that. The cast, how the shows and productions impact the cast and bringing people together and things like that, that don't go to Grace or don't have a church home. But their comment was like, they don't agree with it because they feel like the outreach that should be happening is we need to invite those people to like religious services because that's what they actually need and that's what they're hungry for, whether they know it or not.
Did you tell that person we have religious services twice on Sunday
Yeah.
every week, and that if that's where their heart is, they should be doing that?
Yeah. They don't go to Grace. They don't even go to church.
That's the whole point. Like, the people are the church.
Yeah.
The people are the church.
Yeah.
The people go out, as Jesus said, fishers of men, right? And invite them. And if inviting them to a easy entry family movie night is not your thing, if you're more passionate about inviting them to services, then invite them to service. But the point is, invite them. Invite them. Bring them in.
Yeah.
Or if they won't come into a church, into your home, or go into their home, or go into their hospital room, or whatever. My mom was a nurturer. I've been thinking about her a lot, especially in light of your message. And I think I got a lot of that from my mom. There were no outcasts to my mom. In fact, the more socially marginalized you were, the more my mom was just a heat seeker for you. And opened her home regularity, opened her home. When I was a kid, it was every Friday. Anybody in the neighborhood could come. Anyone in any neighborhood could come. And sometimes she only had one rule. You had to take your shoes off. She did not want her carpet dirty.
That's fine.
And so there was a mountain of shoes at my front door every Friday of my life. Then as I got older and my sisters got a little older, it turned into one Friday a month. But still, anyone could come. Anyone could invite anyone they wanted to bring, and they could come for soda and chips, or they could come for the band that was playing in the basement. There was always music involved. But they weren't going to get beat over the head with the gospel message. They were just going to be loved and loved to Christ, which she did. I saw easily, without exaggeration, hundreds of people come to Christ through the ministry of my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
Just, and I wouldn't say that my dad was a nurturer. It was my mom who was the nurturer. And sometimes, to be honest, that caused some issues, you know? Why is this lonely person talking to you? And whatever. That was something that they had to work out. But you could not keep my mom from loving a lonely person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can think of a lot of people in our midst that do that too, that just open up their lives in their home. And that takes, again, she was intentional with it. It wasn't just, she wanted to make sure that they felt like they had a place to go. So every Friday she gave them a place to go.
Right.
And
Or intentional phone calls, or
people to be
intentional
with.
coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't like a game changer at all, but it is the reason why we started asking people to get name tags at Grace.
Yeah.
It's like we
Yeah,
want to
know
know
people.
people's names, and I've heard anecdotally like how much it matters that the usher said their name, or the guy serving coffee said someone's name, or something like that. So that's something that we do in an effort to kind of change the narrative of like whatever you're feeling bad about being too dirty or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that way. Another thing I thought about when I was thinking through this is, I think it hit me today. I was like, what do we often talk about, like from Grace's perspective? And I think we could do a better job of kind of sharing stories of imperfection. I think we share stories of God's blessing and God's providence a lot. I think we do that a lot. But I don't know that we do a great job of being like, hey, we're just like you. Or this couple overcame whatever, like this, you know, stories of imperfection and finding grace through that. I don't know that we always do a great job of doing that. And so your sermon like illuminated that for me to be like, okay, I need to start paying attention to this, because if the narrative people have is like, I don't want to go to church because I feel shame in stuff I've done or am doing is too dirty or whatever. Well, maybe if we could kind of break down some barriers of like, we're not perfect people here. Like we have imperfect stories and imperfect, but filled up with grace stories to share. Maybe that would do something to break down that barrier. And the last thing is, I think something that we could do that's different, or that would help, is like, communion's one example. I think there are a couple of examples, but communion is one example where it's like, I was sitting with a guy one time, we were taking communion, and he didn't get up and do it. And afterwards I was like, is everything okay? And he was like, I'm just not in a place where I feel like I can take that. And I was like, that's what that's for. It's not for like a bunch of us. It's not for a bunch of strong people to get a reward.
Right.
It's for broken people to.
Well, I think it's for us all to acknowledge that we're broken.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like a moment to be like, hey, don't forget what I did for you. Don't forget that who you are and what I did to give you that grace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get where he's coming from, because I've been that person. I have been that person at different stages in my life where I'm just like, you know what,
I understand that. I totally understand the feeling.
Right.
I think what Grace, us as a church, needs to do a better job of being like, this communion is because God wants the broken and the weary and the lonely to. So
I guess it depends on what he meant by that. Did he mean I'm not willing to repent, and
No.
there's just too much abstinence in my heart right now that I can't humbly receive the sacrament, you know?
He felt bad about it, but he wasn't like being arrogant or something about it. It was just kind of like, I just don't even feel worthy to go do that right now. And I think we as a church, or churches, need to do a better job of just being like, this is for, if you feel like if you feel lonely, or you feel tired or weary or whatever, this is what this is for.
Yeah.
Well, here's where I would disagree that you're not a nurturer then. You noticed him.
And
you
said
didn't just
something.
notice him, you took time to talk to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Good job, nurture.
I get what you're saying, that it doesn't feel like it comes naturally to you, but I think sometimes we maybe misappropriate the word
Maybe.
nurturer, you
Yeah.
know, that we think that there's something
Like you have
motherly
yeah,
to
right,
it
right, right,
or
right.
something
Yes, it has been
soft
deemed,
and fuzzy
yeah.
to it.
Well, I'm definitely motherly.
It's been deemed definitely more of a female mother
Right.
word than just kind of
Absolutely.
more general.
Caretaker,
Yeah.
nurturer.
Right.
I guess I say things like that, like I'm not naturally that way because of other things I say, like my New Year's resolution is for everyone else to get it together.
Yeah, but you say that because you're snarky. That
But I
doesn't
mean-
that
I
you are
mean
not
that.
genuinely thoughtful. I would say
Yeah.
if nurturer is not the word for you, you know that you're a thoughtful person, that you are
Yeah.
a person who notices things, like you noticed that individual
Yeah.
not taking communion that day
Yeah.
or receiving communion that day. But then you took that
Yeah.
a step further to kind of lean in.
Yeah.
And
you,
that's
you
what
say I'm
Hope Month is all
your
about.
most observant friend.
Observant friend.
A lot
Yes.
of people see
To a
things.
terrible fault.
A lot of people
Yeah.
see things and don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So like you saw it and did.
Yeah.
I wish I'd brought up Grief Share yesterday because what a great group for the lonely.
That
for
is one.
people
That is one of the things
I mentioned
that we.
some things
yeah.
you could go to, and I wish I'd said Grief Share because it has changed people's lives. There are people that like
Mhm.
it's revolutionized their lives, and they are such a tight group of people. Like I see
Yeah.
them, several of them sit together, and they've just found community with each other in their grief and mourning and healing and all of that. It's a beautiful, beautiful kind of picture of nurturing each other back to health, kind of.
One of the things you talked about that stood out to me in talking about loneliness or isolation is that it's kind of like there's loneliness all over, but the older and the younger generations is where it's like really felt and really
Yeah.
observed. You said we turned to screens or social media, and I was impressed to see you talk about AI. Talked a little bit about AI.
I do. Did you look at my notes?
Yeah.
I took that out.
Oh,
I was going to talk. I had to
was
cut
gonna
some
say,
things.
I didn't hear her say anything
Yeah, I had to
about
cut
AI.
some things out. Did you not watch the sermon? You
No.
just read the notes?
No, he wasn't even there.
I wasn't there,
Oh, why don't you watch it online? You don't have time for that?
guys.
Okay. Were you camping again? Where were you? What's going on? Okay, I'm just going to say this. I did bring up AI. Here's the thing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with you, but what?
I
You
I
went
did my
camping again?
best.
Okay. Well, wasn't good enough.
I read your notes.
I know, but that's not good. Delivery is so much better than reading
and you
notes.
never know. You just never
Do you think
know.
I prefer it that way?
What? You couldn't turn on a video screen today? You had
No.
You didn't have any headphones that you could just like pop that on real quick. 30 minutes. And not even 30. It was 28.
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, whatever. I was going to talk about AI, but that was one of the things that I think really resonated with the students last night was this pseudo community, like that you think you're
Yeah,
getting.
you turn to
community.
screens.
And the research done this year by the American Psychiatric Association
Yeah.
was that when they get lonely,
Yeah.
that's what they turn to,
Yep.
Yeah.
and that is just making them lonelier because it's not filling a need. And then the elderly is just they're disregarded.
Yep.
They don't feel useful
Yep.
anymore, and nobody's coming to visit them. And man, yeah, I think some of the elderly that passed away during COVID, I'm sure a lot of it was COVID, and I think some of it was just
Sure.
I've been alone for 6 months and I'm literally going to die from it. I mean, my dad, he was like, I am in hell. That's what he would say to me when he would FaceTime me and no one could see him.
Oh my gosh.
It was horrible. But I even look at like other people that are, they have their own homes and stuff, but they're not being visited daily. They're not like, that's almost worse in some ways than being in an assisted living where there's people around you. You're just kind of, you feel like you don't matter.
So I believe all that's true. So what is like the authentic alternative that church needs to offer?
Well, we do have
These
we
generations.
do have a women's group that meets on Tuesdays and a men's Bible study that meets Monday mornings.
Together today meets
yeah,
here.
Yeah, and those are I think finding I know I've heard of other churches that have an older women's group that just get together once a week and
Yeah.
do like get the decorations ready for Christmas or put together care baskets and they're just sitting in the middle of the lobby and they're doing stuff and people are passing them and I think there are things that we can should we be going? I think we as pastors could make visits and do little Bible studies for the million of assisted living places that are right around us.
Yeah,
On Sunday
that's
afternoon, if we're not speaking in the morning, take time to go over, sing one song, and do a 10-minute devotional. Like that will...
That's everything.
Yes.
Yeah, I've done that. I've gone to at least one locally nursing home and sang worship songs, but it was when I was invited. I haven't gone in to say, "Hey, are you looking for this?
I think if we
Yeah.
did that, they'd be like, "Yeah, well, when can we get you here?"
Yeah.
Or should we be on the movie night saying, "Oh, we'd love to send could we get a group from Magnolia Springs over here to watch The Wizard of Oz?" I mean, that's their
That'd be
era.
amazing.
I mean, they love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And, the show. I mean, there's a lot of matinees. That's a perfect time and they're always looking for group outing. There's things we could do. It's being intentional about it.
Yeah, something you said with intentionality, and you said it earlier, like the sermon was kind of for everybody who's not lonely. As I was reading the Surgeon General report, the majority of U.S. adults qualify as lonely, 58%. So if we just stamp that onto our congregation, if 50%, what's our message to them? If the majority of our congregation is lonely, how should we be talking to, preaching to, caring for the majority who feel unseen? And how would that change our tone of voice as a church? Because that was surprising to me, 58%. I was like, I know a lot of people, but like I didn't expect 58%. So,
which means there has to be people that are around a lot of people that still feel lonely.
Yeah.
I was sitting where I always sit, behind a group of young adults. And when you were talking about their age demographic and talking about how isolated they feel, I saw them raising the roof with their hands.
Well, maybe that's why they're
A
lonely.
handful of them were testifying to what you were saying. And here they are.
Raising the roof.
I know it's old, but they were literally doing that. Like fist pumping the air.
Yeah.
They come.
Yeah.
Every week.
Right.
And they do have each other. It doesn't mean they don't still feel a level of alienation, isolation, like they're pushed to the margins somehow. Maybe there are other elements in their life, like, I'm okay when I'm here at church.
But when I go home.
Man, when I go to school,
yeah,
I feel lost in a crowd. Or when I'm home, I'm lonely or whatever. Yeah. The people in our midst, that's who I was thinking about. Who comes every week and still experiences a degree of loneliness.
So just come. That's what the message to them is. Because like
one of the messages, it's not the only message, but definitely one of the messages is keep coming.
Keep doing it.
Keep trying.
Coming.
And if this one doesn't work, if this group doesn't work, maybe try another one.
Yeah.
Like it can take a minute to find your people and to find your fit.
I struggle with this personally. And
with isolation?
I never feel more alone than when I'm in a crowd. When one of the vivid examples of this was when I first came on staff here at Grace. I had to move here ahead of my husband and kids. So I came out here knowing virtually no one. And I think it was my first week of officially being...
Easter.
Well, Easter was my first service of being on staff. But when I got my rental house and kind of moved here kind of permanently, or what I thought was semi-permanently, but that's another story. When I actually moved here ahead of my husband and kids, it was just me and my dog. There was a staff retreat down in southern Indiana where we stayed overnight somewhere as a staff.
You totally should have said, I'll start the day after that.
Amy hates staff retreats.
I roomed with the one person that I kind of sort of knew. I didn't know her very well. But I was so overwhelmed being in a room full of people. Yeah. But feeling so incredibly alone. And it's the kind of feeling that for me, makes me want to run. Fight or flight, just get me out of here. I am so uncomfortable in my own skin right now.
Yeah. Is it all groups or just groups of people you don't know?
I think it's all groups.
Well, okay.
It is because there's something, I told my daughter about this weekend because she struggles sometimes with the same thing that I struggle with. And I told her there's an override button. I will always feel it. I'll always have that initial twinge of, this is not my scene. but I can override that feeling. And I think that comes with practice.
Yeah.
You get more and more, I guess, used to being able to put yourself out there or whatever.
Is it because you'd prefer to be alone?
Yeah, I think I'm naturally an introvert.
Yeah,
I like my couch.
I hear what you're saying because I feel the same way. Like,
yeah.
Saturday night, Lauren and I our family was gonna go visit with 3 other families that were like in our wedding and like some of our best friends of all time, and I just didn't want to do it. I'm like, I don't know, but I had to hit the override button, and as soon as I was there, it was like great or whatever. But like, I have that every single time. It doesn't matter if the group's like 3 people or a million.
I really hope they're not listening. That sounded pretty mean.
I said it when I got there. I was like,
okay, good.
And it doesn't have anything to do with them.
Yeah, no, it's just like...
It's the way we feel. Jed does not have this problem.
Yeah.
Jed needs no override button. He is always down for the party all of the time.
Yeah, I don't need an override button most of the time.
Yeah.
A few times.
Yeah.
Depends on the group. But most of the time, I'm like, oh, no, don't more people want to go?
So that's another part of isolation that it's not just like I don't have spiritual community. It's like I don't have friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so we've talked about this at a pastoral level. We talk about it all the time. Like, we have ministries and programs that help people get connected to spiritual community. And those are designed in some regard to help heal this broken place. But according to research and studies, like, friendship just in general is like thinning out. Like, people have less friends than they used to. And they have less frequent contact with people that are their friends. So even with social media and all the stuff that's like making us more connected, like friendship just in general as a concept is like thinning out, is the words that they use. So if people are missing out on friendships, much less spiritual community, like and when we think of discipleship, like what's the church's role in like managing and building and rebuilding friendship?
Sounds like a really good conversation for our pastoral retreat.
Well, the friends of the pod won't be there.
Well, and this is
so
what
we got to talk about it now.
This is what Jeff Unruh, I wish he was here now to speak to some of this, because this is what he thinks about constantly. We say all the time, here's some groups we have for you that you can go check out, and you can try to find community. You will find community within these groups if you go to these groups. If these groups are not for you, maybe there's a serving opportunity. Jed's always trying to get the young adults to serve together at the care center, because that forms friendships and relationships when you're kind of...
That's what happens with the shows.
Exactly. When you're engaging with something.
They're engaging with something that they love, and then all of a sudden they're like, we kind of love each other too.
I think it boils down to meaning. What are you doing with others that has some element of shared meaning? Whether that is writing cards to people, the grief care team. I would get cards regularly on the anniversary of my mom's passing, that some group got together and wrote out cards. The prayer team met this morning just to talk about our lives and pray with one another for personal things, but also for church-wide things.
So some kind of purpose, meaning. Because I hear from, I don't know, 20-something-year-old people that are like, we just want to like gather. There's like no meaning. It's just like, we want to be in the same space. We don't even need you guys there. Like, just let us in the building or something. But is that the church's role? Like, to just provide space for people to become friends? I don't know.
I think that's one of the things that we do as a church. That's one of the things we can do. I think about my husband and the young adults. What if it's just a fire pit and nothing else? Well, you're going to get together. You're going to talk. You're going to have a good time. That in itself is meaningful. And the church provided the space for that. But the church doesn't have to be the only one providing the space for that. My mom opened her home. On her own.
Yeah, right.
Didn't need the church's permission to do that.
Right. Yeah.
So where's the hope? Like, if we could define it, like you said, nurturing takes intentionality, but like, if we could crystallize where the hope is in the broken place of loneliness, what would we say?
I mean, I think the church has a role to play in it, but I also think it's an individual thing. Like, I think the hope is that people will go forward and look for the people in their lives that need community and provide that for them, open their homes, take people to coffee, you know, and it's not going to be hard to find them.
Yeah.
I mean, I said pray
That
for
is
the
it.
Holy Spirit, but it's not going to be hard.
I had an
is it.
idea. Because I'm picturing someone very specific, and they would be like, take who to coffee? Like, nobody's even in my life. Like, who am I going to take to coffee? But if this is a broken place and you are lonely, or you care about lonely people or isolated people, I had an idea. We put on, or like serve families through funerals, right? We host them. I don't know better word for that, but we host funerals. We serve families in the moment of the funeral. And I know we have grief share for like people who are suffering loss. But if we know that one of the things that contributes to people's loneliness and isolation is the death of a spouse or the like loss like that, if you're somebody who cares about this broken place, like there is a huge opportunity to be like, I want to be the person that steps in pastorally or hospitality wise to people who have just suffered loss, not during the loss. I mean, that's important too, but like to try to blunt the long-term effects of pain and harm, as like, I can be a person that steps into people's lives like after the fact to kind of like mitigate some of the lonely feelings for people after they've suffered a loss. Because loss is like one of the biggest contributing factors to people becoming isolated. That's just an idea. So it doesn't always have to be like find a friend and take them to coffee, even although that is the thing. Like that is a good idea. But I'm picturing someone very specific who's like, I don't even have a friend to take a coffee. But like, if you could be like, I want to raise my hand, and anytime there's a funeral, let me know, and I can contact the family like a month after the funeral and be like, hey, I'm so-and-so, and I want to come visit with you or see how you're doing or whatever. Like that's something that matters.
Yeah. Or, and pay attention.
Yeah.
The way that you paid attention to somebody who just didn't feel like they were worthy enough to receive communion that day.
Yeah.
You paid attention and then you leaned in.
Yeah.
I find myself making small talk. I'm not good in crowds, but I'm pretty good one-on-one. And so I find myself making small talk with cashiers or with
really?
my server or something. Oh, it just happened this morning. Yeah. I stopped somewhere for a sandwich and made conversation. But those environments for me are a little bit easier. This one-on-one thing is easier than being in a room full of people, which sounds weird for a pastor to say. But pay attention. Pay attention here at church, like you did. Who around you just could use a greeting, whether you know that person or don't know that person.
Right.
Pay attention. I was talking to a student yesterday, kind of talking about her school life and bringing me into what that's like for her. And I think she's a freshman. No, not quite a freshman. But anyway, who is in her world that she could pay attention to? Who's sitting alone at lunch? Pay attention.
Yep. Yeah.
Pay attention. Be hope for somebody. Be Jesus to that woman at the well. Make somebody feel seen and known and found.
Yep.
You might be the only friend that they possess.
Yep.
You might be the only person who even tried to reach out to them in that way. I think that's where the hope is found. When we pay attention and we bring that hope to people who need it.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay. What are we doing next? Do you know? You're preaching.
Maron's preaching.
Pain.
You're doing pain. Why do you say it like that?
Because, Tyler,
You'll be great at this.
no.
Why?
It feels daunting. And I'm sure all of the Hope Month aspects, elements of Hope Month, they probably all feel like this to a degree. But they're huge.
Yep. They
Isolation. We just talked about it.
I mean,
it's
we
just
did
a
4
huge
weeks on all of them.
life or death issue. Last September was all pain. We did 4 sermons on it. But there's just so many different kinds of pain. And pain is something that either is currently affecting all of us or will affect us in one way, shape, or form. It just seems like a very broad topic.
Well, you're really good at like what?
Nah.
What? I was going to say something nice. All right, forget it.
No, it was
All right.
going to be snarky. Don't even try to pretend.
So next week's pain.
Next week's pain.
is pain.
Maron will bring the pain next
That's-
week.
Yep.
Well, and the other thing that makes it difficult is that to study for a sermon like pain and to prepare for going into this broken place, you got to kind of surround yourself with a lot of painful things. And
Yeah.
I've reached out to my prayer team a number of times this week.
I walked into her office and she's just reading like the saddest books possible.
My gosh. Sounds terrible.
I cannot stop crying. It's been a rough week.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
I mean, but it's not sadness month. It is hope.
Yeah, so you got to
Yep.
turn it
Month.
around.
Turn it around.
You have to go through so you can lead people.
Yep.
Right?
All right, we got to get Amy out of here because she's just like repeating everything everybody's saying at this point. Like, it's Hope Month. Yep, it's Hope Month.
I have a lot
Turn it
going
around.
on.
Yep, turn it around.
Sorry. I'm thinking about the next thing I have to go to. I'm so sorry. I can't help it because I
Yeah, we got to get you out.
Amy, what is the next thing you have to go
rehearsal.
Yeah, what do you got to do?
Got
What
to
time's
take
that
Liza
start?
to pick up her car, and then I got to get to rehearsal by 6:30, and I
Oh.
have to block a scene with 90 people in it.
That's
no,
all?
75. I'm lying.
All
It's
right,
not
well,
90,
thanks for being
75.
here.
No, it was great.
This is your last visit with Between
Probably,
Sundays.
Yeah, I'll never see you again. Favorite co-host
Favorite
is out.
You got to say it. That's what everybody is. Favorite co-host.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You're an honorary. You were an honorary co-host when she was out.
Sure. Yeah. Never had me back. I'll see you in December.
All right.
No, probably won't. You'll be like, oh, it's December.
Yeah,
we
we're
don't
taking the month
record.
off.
We don't record.
I'm pretty sure we are taking the month of December.
Actually, that's a holiday. Somehow December 15th just became a holiday.
Yeah, I think we are taking.
We don't need to talk to you.
That's the next time you're preaching.
I'll be doing some special pods
Oh yeah,
on my own.
Amy's going to be
without
doing
you.
a Wizard of Oz pod.
Yes.
Yes.
Ozpod.
Ozpod.
I love it.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
I'll be
Good.
sitting in your
we'll
seat.
see about that.
We're gonna put some other pictures up in here.
Oh, you got decorating ideas.
Yeah, I'm gonna put up some show posters
Oh.
or something.
Oh,
It's gotta look artsy. Not. It's not the same podcast.
yeah. You don't want her recycling our material.
I didn't say
No,
anything.
On
I'm not even
Ozpod.
gonna go. Well,
just-
welcome. I'm gonna say something else. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Hoba man." I'm gonna sing or
Oh,
something.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll really draw people in.
That'll get the subscriptions right
Yep,
up.
That'll really. They'll be pouring in.
All right, last thing I need to mention, if you haven't signed up yet for the Calling Quilt Workshop on October 4th, you got to do that. You can go to gracechurch.us/hope to do that. Dave talked about it last week. If you are like, I'm hearing all these sermons about broken places, I have no idea, and you're hearing words like nurturer or what was it last week? It was activist. And you're like, I don't know, maybe go to
Ambassador.
ambassador. Yeah, go to this workshop on October 4th. He will guide you through how to kind of discover where you fit in this. So gracechurch.us/hope to sign up for that. Barry will be back next week.
Oh, and sign up for Sunday of Service and bring a friend.
No,
Okay.
cut that out. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Sunday of Service is October 5th. So
Yeah,
while you're
big
signing up for
weekend.
Calling Quilt Workshop, sign up for that.
Big weekend.
All right, Maron, will you
Mhm.
please send us out?
I will. Do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God.
And we'll see you on the other side of Sunday.